Hello, 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 you wonderful viewers out there. Welcome to the third day of the Hamburg Invitational, the GG.Bet Hamburg Invitational that is presented to you by Maincast. I'm Kyle, that's Lizard. We had a bit of a delay, sorry. The Greeks were late. New, same roster. You know, it's been a couple of years.
Same roster with what? Maybe one change? Not, yeah, one, I think.
One.
Yeah,
but some habits never change because these guys were always late for scrims too. Let me tell you. They're playing against Hippomaniacs. We got a European showdown. Loser eliminated. Winner goes on to play in the Decider series.
We have Greeks versus the Czech boys, right? Like two teams made out of completely like one nation. Actually, two nations, one Czech Republic and one Greek. But man, as I said before, I always love these show matches like between two countries, you know. Like
it's good spirits too. We had FIBA going on earlier. I don't know if you watched any of that. International basketball refereeing absolutely terrible. Shout out to Lithuania.
Always.
But yes.
Always. Always. You're never satisfied with referees.
In America, we are constantly frustrated, but I got to tell you, European referees really take shitty officiating to another level.
Dude, you should live in a small country. Because we are always ruined by referees, you know. No one wants to see some small country with a couple of million viewers, you know. Like no one wants to see you in finals. It's not that we're bad; it's just the market, you know. That's what it is.
Of course. That's what everyone from Milwaukee's been saying for the last 20 years. Getting into Dota, eventually, I assume we're gonna hopefully see some better plays because if I'm not mistaken. Both of these teams got somewhat crushed in their opening series.
Both of these teams got crushed, and both of these teams have a very similar thing going for them. They have these carries or midders that rotated onto the offlane, and they got a new guy. Like Hippomaniacs, they got a new actually midder, and their midder went to the offlane, or safe laner Curry went to the offlane, and pretty much the same situation is with the Greek boys, in which Tug has rotated to that offlane. And you have these greedy boys going to the offlane, man. That usually does not work. Like the current meta, like we were discussing this yesterday, you need someone that's a sacrificial lamb on that offlane. You know, you need someone selfless. You need someone that plays for the team.
I gotta agree with you wholeheartedly, my friend. It's something we've been discussing off camera quite a bit. But as we get this discussion going, let's also take a look at the draft as it's begun. We've got Marana, Willow, Undying, banned out by Hippomaniacs, Kunkka, Tiny, Rubik from The Dire, also known as Ad Finem. They got here a little late and, of course, forgot to set their team. But, you know, it's all good, guys. At least you made it.
Do you know what, guys, though? Shadow Demon with the Greek boys, come on, dude. Like a couple of years back, you would always, oh my, all right, these guys are not messing around.
They're not messing around, indeed. And as you said, right, there wasn't really anything changed much about Alchemist. The mana regen on the ultimate was nerfed a bit, but you just buy a Soul Ring and you're back to your bread and butter. It's
I'm surprised, like,
because didn't people just go double Bracer at TI? Now you just go Bracer Soul Ring, right?
Exactly. How big of a deal is that, though? That can be
was
like
that all that was changed?
Yeah, there's the mana region, I believe. I believe that's true.
Okay.
As an analyst, I'll look it up.
You don't, no, look, man. You don't ever tell the stream you're looking it up. You just keep talking.
I'm not looking it up, stream. You don't know what's happening right now.
That's true.
I'm just saying how Shadow Demon is actually one of these.
Yeah, talk about how it relates with the Alchemist. You know, it's a great combination because once the Radiance is online, you can get those disruptions going. You've got a save mechanic to ensure you'll be able to get the BKB off. Very effective against the Centaur as well. Buying time.
And
Lizard.
also,
why aren't your thumbs moving?
And also, it's a hero that's picked by Greek boys quite a lot. Like back when they started playing, they were I can't remember, Elysium Gaming, man. I remember it. I played versus the Greek boys when they were in some Elysium Gaming stack, also a Greek, I believe, stack. Grievous Greed bonus was reduced from 4 to 3 as well, so there's that as well, and talents were nerfed a little bit. In any case, they love this Shadow Demon comboed with something more greedier like Kunkka or Invoker. I don't think we might see Invoker because Alchemist is usually on the side lane, right? But it's very greedy, so we'll see if that happens or not. On the other hand, we have Crystal Maiden, Centaur, and Gyrocopter for Hippomaniacs. Just a stable opening, I would say, like nothing too special, but I like it. It's not right. You have your casual good offlaner in Centaur, Crystal Maiden, that can be position 5 or 4. And Gyrocopter also a pretty popular position 1 at the moment, picked quite often. Couple of raid bans into that agonyms, and yeah, I mean, I like their opening. Alright. What do you think about Warlock plus Shadow Demon combo?
I don't like it in conjunction, but I do love the hero. I think it's definitely underrated. Good synergy with an Alchemist as well. If you land a good Fatal Bonds, you just have effectively unlimited damage. You also have now 2 different ultimates that are BKB piercing, quite effective against a hero like Gyrocopter. However, you are a bit slow in the sense that now you have 3 heroes on the Ad Finem side that do not rotate, that do not gank. They just sort of exist for a while. And sure, the Shadow Demon could get aggressive in theory, but with a Warlock, like, you're going to need some sort of stun here.
They need some stuns.
You need a stun.
They need some stuns. And right now, what do you have? You have Alchemist with his, but like you don't want to level that up so early on. So perhaps some offlaner that can be active around that Shadow Demon, or the Shadow Demon can be active around him. I like the Warlock, as you said. Yesterday we talked about him. Not a hero that's picked a lot. He has been nerfed. Like, you need more mana for that Shadow Word. But then again, if you're rolling an Alchemist on that safe lane, Warlock, just sit behind him, spam that heal up boy, and just chill. You know, let this Alchemist win the game for you. So it's not that bad. At the same time, you do have Centaur to get on top of him, and you also have Treant that's going to give you vision.
I like this pick quite a bit. We've discussed Leshrac. I would call him the king of the mid game. You hit level 6, you get a few points in Edict, and all of a sudden rotations are effective, and then the tower dies as well. Excellent counter to the tree. It looks like they were prepared to pick it immediately before the tree gets picked. It's one of the best heroes against that because the root doesn't affect your damage output, and in addition, you burn through that armor like immediately.
Yeah, you can't defend the towers as 3 versus the Lash. He will still take them down in something like a Jakiro, right? At the same time...
Well, it's different. Real quick, I think that in a way, Jakiro is worse against the tree because you're whittling down towers, whereas Leshrac is just killing towers.
Yeah, that's
Treant wants to, like, negate the pressure and then, you know, create a slower pace.
Like, look at this ban by Hippomaniacs, Sand King. I want to discuss this a little bit. I think that Sand King is perfect for the Dire because they need something to move with the Shadow Demon, with the Lash, right? They need something active. The problem is, usually when we see Leshrac picked and succeed lately is when he has a save, a utility offlaner, something like that Abaddon, or a Centaur, something that will help you, you know.
I'd love an Abaddon, but I
think
Warlock Abaddon, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know about
and
that.
Shadow Demon, you know, it's just yucky. It's like you don't have that oomph that you need in that mid game to rotate around Leshrac. You can pressure them, but you can never catch them. And if they go on you, you will die.
You're an expert in oomph. Can you give me some examples here? What do you think they need?
What do I think they need? Oh, it's a difficult one. What could be good with the Shadow Demon on this offlane? Well, they will give us the... I was not gonna say Necro.
No.
I was definitely not gonna say Necro. That's not the oomph that, in my opinion, they needed. But perhaps this Necro can be mid and this Slash and Shadow Demon can go offlane.
I think this is a gyro mid in my eyes. I think that's the play here. And don't you just pick like a jug maybe? Some kind of BKB carry? It's hard to say though. There's so much magic damage on the side of the Dire. And whoa, Invoker. Okay. I mean, it's not bad, especially if we see that Quaswex Spirit Vessel build on the Invoker. I think it's quite nice.
I think it's awesome.
Or Sunstrike's fine too. You have so much lockdown, actually. Yeah, in fact, I take what I said back. This is an insane Sunstrike Invoker game. You have so much burst, and
your team is very active without you. It depends though, right? Like, how do they want to play their 2 cores? Do you want the Gyrocopter to be rotating around all the time, creating space? You know, like some fast-paced build? Or do you want Invoker to go for that Midas, you know, or you want the Invoker to go for Vessel and he's the one that's creating space? It's
hard. It's tough. It's tough. I'm not quite sure how you want to play this. I would say Hippomaniacs draft is better in your eye. Well, it's more balanced. They have stuns.
They have stuns. It's like you have options even.
Yeah, I think
like
it's a good way to phrase it.
You can play it either way and it can work. I really think they need the Vessel. The Vessel in this game is so fantastic. You have the Alchemist, you have the Necro versus you. Like, that's a perfect item for you to buy. And Warlock with the heals. Then again, Quaswex Invoker is pretty strong. We'll see. Exort is good. They have the tree and they have the Centaur, as you noted before. The Crystal Maiden isn't that bad with control as well. I like the Hippomaniacs draft, I have to say.
Yeah, it just feels like you have 3 heroes on the side of Ad Finem that just do the same thing. Alchemist, Necro, Lesh. They're going to try and walk forwards and get into a fight, right? They're going to tank damage. But you don't really have that much lockdown. And you have so much AoE on the side of Hippomaniacs. It just feels like relatively rudimentary to find a first kill and then chase for more.
Like, what is your team fight if you are Ad Finem? You have a Warlock. That's it. You have that Golem. You drop it. If you don't get anything from it, like they will just fight you for the next 2 minutes.
You're gonna need some major upheavaling.
Then again, I need to say this. Like, we are here. I'll say it, man. I need my words to be heard, guys. We are discussing drafts like analysts. But then again, it's all about teams and the players that play in them.
True.
It's all about how they perform, especially in the Tier 2, Tier 3 scene. My ex-teammates, you can give them, I don't know, you can give them 6 slotted heroes from the start. They're going to lose to a couple of Crystal Maidens, you know. It doesn't matter, you know. Like, it's all about these players. And one particular player that interests me the most is the one selected right now. It's Boom. Like, he's playing this in Walker. And, dude, like, I don't think I've seen this guy in my pubs even, and that's why he's a mystery to me. Like they just picked him, I guess, because he's from Czech Republic. You know, he's from their country. He's their boy, and they're preparing to go into this season again as a one-nation stack.
It is interesting because that's for a while it was a lot more common in other games, specifically Counter-Strike. I think Overwatch as well. Not Overwatch. Not League either. I don't know. Dota's definitely one of the most international games, if you think about it.
Like,
and it's rare to see these full country stacks. However, if you think, you know, we got 4 guys from the Czech Republic. Obviously, you're more comfortable in your native language. Makes sense to pick up a 5th, right?
Yeah, and there's not a lot of there's no countries that understand them besides themselves.
Yeah.
Slovakia, I suppose, is a bit similar, but I mean, any Slavic country can understand them a little bit, but most of it is just going to pass you by.
Thank you for that language lesson, Lizard.
No problem. I'm helping my NA boy learn some culture, you know, some EU culture. Anyways, speaking of countries and stacks, there's also so many players that just fail to achieve greatness because they remain loyal to their country, like, man, and their teams from childhood. I'm not talking about myself. Don't make that.
No,
face.
I'm just
Chill
like,
out.
is this where are we going
chill
with
out.
this? Are we gonna go back in time?
I'm not gonna talk about myself or you. Chill. But there are some players that have even just abandoned this game after unsuccessfully trying to form multiple stacks with their countrymen in Europe, and that's always kind of sad to see because there's a lot of potential in some people, but they just don't want to cross that language barrier, which is easily crossable. Like, it's not too difficult to, like, if Ramses can go to NA, you know, and play in EG, I believe like you can do it. Like that guy. He's going to play for a Tier 1 team, like in a Tier 1 scene, and he has a language problem issue that he will have to surpass, you know. Then if you're playing in Tier 2 and Tier 3 scene, it should be much easier. So we'll see. We'll see how Ramses goes. We'll see how these guys work out in this game.
I'm looking forward to it. The bounty runes will spawn shortly. We've got 4 heroes on the bottom rune for Ad Finem, 4 heroes up top for Hippomaniacs, so won't expect too much of a skirmish at the start.
It's a classic thing with an alchemist, right? 4 on one, 4 on the other. Like, you don't really want to risk it.
And interesting though, this is the Alc safe lane,
this
and
might
as
be
I
a
say
dead
it,
Alka. Oh, Sani, you're blocking your centaur, my dude. You had that killed you.
maybe that was his level 1 center. He had already skilled his retaliate.
Maybe they had it, but it would have been
Quas
easier.
Quas level 1. That usually means you're going Quas Wax, right?
I think so, yeah, definitely. When you check his item build as well, he's going for that turn, so I suppose that's going to be the case.
It's risky, though. I will say I like Quas Wax, but it means you kind of have to take over the game, right? And when you're up against an Alchemist, you make a couple mistakes, maybe you just don't connect on a rotation. Like, you're just going to fall off super hard. Like, even Thompson, when he goes this style, often falls off.
Yeah, it is difficult. It is difficult. But there's like a couple of players as well that do go into the Quas Wax, but then they rotate it into like some Midas, you know, and into the Axe as well. And you can scale with it, but you need to have a good game. You need to rotate early on. You can't farm nearly as fast unless you're getting those kills.
And we got a double dueling down here. This is a tough lane for the SD Lash.
Muff might
as
be
I
just
say it.
gone here.
Yeah, wow. As I say it, it's actually harder for the tree. Holy crap,
Yeah,
those
he's
tree
just dead.
illusions hit hard. Oh my goodness. And they apply the Oov, of course. I don't think he expected to land against the Shadow Demon. That's a very underrated mechanic. The illusions, of course, taking over orb effect, so just leads to his own demise.
Focus got really low. He has a Fairy Fire and a Salve to work with, so he should be fine. But as you said, yeah, those illusions, man, when you come to a lane with 90 base damage, those illusions are going to hit you quite hard.
Interesting. I'm surprised he hasn't just backed up to Salve real quick, getting very aggressive.
I guess he's playing with the mana of Invoker, but now that he sees the Mango used, he has to be very, very careful. He could just die here, Focus. He has Fairy Fire and level 3, so we'll see. Boom. We'll go for
Moving
him.
forwards. He's just going to try and man up here with the creep wave. Looks that way. Boom. Oh, he had Quasi MP. Is he? This is a kill?
He's dead. He's gone.
What?
I mean,
No comment.
For real, he should have went back and solved
Like,
up. He's just trying to play on the edge, and he gets tornadoed. And
Thug now in some trouble. Does have the Edict running for a little bit of time, but I do believe this will land as a kill. Indeed it is. And a DD to spare. Supreme will pick that up.
he did lose a couple of kills on last hits on the lane, but I don't think that's a problem. Killing that Lashrak is very important there. So far on the top lane, Alchemist is doing quite fine. Like, he's not really contested way too much. 12 last hits. Yeah, Centaur is going to farm, but it's to be expected.
And in a passive game, certainly is going to favor the Ad Finem dire side, I would imagine, under the circumstances. You can see MUF just continuously playing this right side of the trees. Let's see, nothing much doing, to your point. I think the mid lane matchup could get dicey, though. Quaswex Invoker with a lead, that's when you become one of those scary Dota 2 heroes. You don't have that farming mechanic, so it's very important that you have as good a time in that initial 6 minutes as possible. Up top,
Alchemist.
so much damage from Curry, man. That Retaliate, what a spell. What was that? Oh, that's the Arcana, or not Arcana, but the.
Oh, he
I'm
lost
wondering
the
why
Salve.
the
They are
hero-
continuing. They're continuing the pursuit. He's
See,
dead.
what the-
He's dead. He just right-clicks him to death. Curry just got him.
I think he's gonna kill Spartan too. Spartan, you don't want to do this, my friend.
He might be just dead indeed.
He is.
Yeah, he's gone. Let's
Because
see.
now he heals himself, so the CM won't be fearful. And yeah, he has no boots either, guys.
He's dead. That's a double kill for Curry. Speaking of that safe laner that rotated to the offlane, like, he's doing quite well in this game.
Oh yeah.
And what's happening? Alchemist just died, Warlock just died, and the Necro just died on mid. And odds, they don't really represent the situation in this game at the moment, as they're pretty much even at the moment.
And you're telling me. Boom, now moving forwards, has the Tornado as well. Will the EMP land? Indeed it does. He's got the Tornado if he wants to continue to pursue. Focus, what are you doing?
Focus. Sir, you need to...
What the... What?
This is a
What's he
nerd,
doing?
Null Talisman, 20 CS almost, Invoker on that mid lane, destroying the Necro.
This is not a hero you can give a head start to. Like, he can... As soon as he has phase in like level 8, level 9, he is a force to be reckoned with.
He's like, oh, this hero has a Tornado as well. Damn it, I forgot. I can't just shroud myself away. And Curry is...
What?
Can they... Alright, they're just trying to make it a bit harder for themselves because they picked Alchemist, right? That's it, that's it. We
Sure,
get
but
you,
this-
Greek boys. You like to be the ones that are fighting like 300 on 10,000. We understand what's happening, alright.
The concern is, though, column. That's what you're going to look to play around. There's no way for them, for any core to actually move. Oh, wait, I take that back. We've got Thug in the mid lane. Also, he's the support. I forgot, that's actually a core Shadow Demon down bottom. Sorry, I did not even pay attention. That stun is so far wide right that it's in a different time zone. Senny now going to look to suicide into the Roche pit. He should be able to do so, and he is.
Yeah, he is. Good play by him, and they pick off that Necro. By the way, good point there. I also forgot completely that Tug is playing the support.
Yeah,
maybe next
you're
time.
so used to see him as a core, right?
Yeah, and maybe next time, position 4, you know. Like,
Wait, Isn't maybe, do they just like swap roles or something for this game? Or is maybe next time the offlaner and Thug's the support? I think Thug is the support,
Maybe
but that's
next, didn't maybe next, yeah, because maybe
he
next
used
time.
to be the 4.
Yeah,
he
and
was like a
played
bounty
Sand
hunter
King.
player and everything.
Yeah, exactly. He was a really good position 4. And he also played Sand King position 4 last game that we watched, didn't he?
I thought so.
Or he played offlane, but it felt like a position 5. As he
I have no
had
idea.
items. Yeah.
I'm just as confused as you are, Lizard, and I'm sure our viewers at home are hoping we'd be able to provide them guidance through this initial tournament of the TI-10 season.
Guys,
what
guidance do you need? This is a bloodbath right now. That's all we have to say.
Now, we are lost in the jungle together is what I'm trying to say. And I've got a machete, but I don't have a map. Senny, however, he's got a ward down. He will see the Necrophos moving towards Curry, who will back away. The bounty runes have already been picked up 2 minutes ago, so there's no real need for any of these heroes to be in the vicinity. Looks like we've got a lane swap, Necro to top, Alchemist to mid. But if I'm an Alchemist, I don't want to be anywhere near this Class Wex Invoker with a big lead.
I don't think anyone wants to be next to that Invoker any longer. Like, I think your best bet is to put some position 5 there to just gain some experience, and that's it. Zenny. He might drop here. Can he deny? No, he can't. Tug gets that. And they're gonna take these stacks. But these stacks, I believe they were meant to be taken by an Alchemist.
I think you're right.
And that Alchemist is somewhere deep inside his jungle, while maybe next time is taking mid. And that means Gyro is completely free farming on the bottom lane.
They get the ward. Curry in some trouble, though.
Oh.
Does not juke the stun. Has a full stick, but will not be able to get it off. Oh,
Invoker's
Boom
here.
is here.
That's a great tornado.
Oh my god, this is going to be insane. Will that land is the question. Looks like the tree end will go down. Focus now going to be regenning up severely, and they might actually be able to catch Boom. Just kidding. They're going to find that kill thanks to the Nova from Senny. He now gets the aggressive earn. A couple auto attacks should do in Thug, and indeed, a double kill for the Crystal Maiden. Nice rotation from Boom. A 2 for 2 in the end. However, could have been worse, but keep in mind, Madara is farming the jungle. A bunch of stacks still to be taken.
Overall, I think this is pretty good for Ad Finem, considering how it started.
Yes.
It wasn't like they're making trades, and making trades in this part of the game, in this situation, is actually really good for you because you're so far behind. I mean, 1K at the moment, but still, the levels are what matters. And Warlock is getting pretty low. Uses that heal on the Centaur as he knows that he's falling down, and Curry, I don't know if he can chase this. Yeah, probably better idea to go back.
It's so hard to play in this lane as a Centaur. You can see how much damage he's taking. Just constant magic pressure.
He's not gonna die. He has that ring to heal up.
Bottom lane, Supreme in trouble. He's gonna pop his ultimate. Thug though moving forward. Has the Edict running. MUF trying to tank some of the damage. Will probably be able to finish off the Shrek. Just kidding. There's a huge stick. Is this going to be enough? Maybe next time he's going to have some more poison stacks upcoming. Invis popped. He'll need one more. Will not hit it.
Misses.
They have a sentry, though. Thug.
Oh.
Thug. Oh!
Good one. Good one. They did spot him with that sentry. Then again, I don't know, like, what was the idea behind that move of 3? Did he try to finish off Thug, perhaps?
Well, do you understand quantum thermodynamics?
A little bit. Studied them.
I don't either. And you know, when it comes to a play like that, it's just as indecipherable. Madara, however, this is something we've seen many times over.
Quantum thermodynamics.
I'm pretty sure that's a real thing.
All right.
Because, like, you know, quarks and shit, they have, if the same properties apply.
Yeah. Some energy is wasted there in the form of whatever. Let's go back into the game.
Speaking of wasted energy, Boom is coming bottom. He's going to pop out that EMP and try and suck away some of this mana. In fact, he will find the kill on Leshrac, but with no Invoke prepared, he's going to get the Stampede away. Curry now moving forwards. He's going to be able to poach that top ender. Just kidding, maybe next time with the sick disruption. No ultimate on SSA Spartan, so again, the lack of stuns may come back to punish Ad Finem. They have an ultimate up on Focus, but it's not going to be effective. Senny now popping the ultimate. You got to interrupt that. Somebody's got to get it, but they don't have a stun. They don't have a stun, Lizard. It's a full CM ultimate. Madara moving forwards. Tons of damage taken from him. A sick tornado on 2. EMP back off cooldown. Boom now with the earn charge. Could be able to finish off Madara, but he's got so much regen. Disruption
good
as well.
disruption.
Really well done. It just, you cannot kill Madara without that Spirit Vessel. It is still just an earn. If you're going to make this play, it's got to be with the full item completed. And Supreme, 11 minutes into the game, he's only level 7? How is this a thing? Thug is level 7. And
he's gone?
What Wasn't that a free-farming gyrocopter?
It pretty
What
much
happened?
was. I guess Shadow Demon was contesting him a little bit, but Shadow Demon went mid. That gyrocopter, I mean, look at the cores, look at the net worth. It's only the Alchemist as it is to be expected on top, and then 3 cores of the Radiant followed him. Like, but for some reason, they're losing these team fights, and Ad Finem is just outplaying them. Like we said earlier, it's not only about the draft, it's about how you play it. And in the laning stage, they looked all right.
Yeah, but they're not taking towers.
But
And we don't take towers against a Madara Alchemist. I mean, if this man knows anything, it's farming. There's the Spirit Vessel. And, you know, this is something we will probably bring up for a long time. And we'll put that on ice for just a second. Boom trying to pressure the maybe next time Shadow Demon.
I think they can get him here. Let's see. Alchemist is coming in, though, and Boom is in
Another
problems.
purge. Do they have any defection? Do they have any detection? No, not in time. He will end up stunning himself, and Focus does not have that ultimate available. And
That one vessel charge has been wasted, though, so now they have to play around. Only 1 remaining.
Yep.
They need to get some kills on this guy. And also Supreme has to be careful, man. They have rotated towards him, and every time they did that, they killed him. So,
and I'm just always, it's timing, right? That's the one thing that these top teams have that these teams we're watching seem to not, where if you wait for that Spirit Vessel, right, and before you take those decisive engagements, that's how Hippomaniacs can spike, you know, make a smoke move around it. But they kind of just let the game develop organically as they actually dive bottom. Spartan, no ultimate available, trying to save his friendly Necrophos, but another huge ultimate from the CM will be able to secure the kill.
Yeah, that was a good ulti. Madara is here, but he's tornaded up already, and we're going to watch the woods a little bit, but we are back with the Crystal Maiden. I mean, this observer just doesn't like to see Crystal Maiden all poor and lonely die like that, so...
MUF chasing
us.
Spartan doing what he can, the aggro disruption maybe next time with plenty of mana to spare. Look at the damage
Let's
output.
have that ulti there and a lot of stakes.
Double dust.
Couldn't he just TP away? But he's baiting because Boom is coming in.
Is this bait?
He's not bait, he's just that. But he could have TP'd away. They had no disruption, it was already used. Those 2 heroes have no remaining stuns and his cooldown on TP was off, so he could have went back, but yeah, he falls.
I mean,
in the end, they do take down the Necro.
And we've been criticizing the Ad Finem draft due to the lack of stuns, but really, if they get ahead like this and continue to turn around engagements, it doesn't matter.
Solo?
They're so tanky.
No,
No. Level 2 stun. Come on, dog.
It's not gonna go for that. I mean, overall, Hippomaniacs, they had a really good start. And you know what? Like, sometimes I see that a team has...
Spartan, the smoke.
He's... whatever. He's gonna smoke himself, ward up, go mid.
Focus in a ton of trouble. The Spirit Vessel going off, taking a ton of damage.
Muff is in problems, actually.
Yeah, there's the Leshrac versus Tree relationship. Will he be able to get away is a question? No, he actually turns back into the Leshrac, will go down. Tower taken by both sides as Thug now, with the Disco Pony's move speed, he's going to be able to escape.
Him?
I don't know.
Can they even get that? Like,
Stop being so critical, Lizard. Jeez.
Oh my, I'm sorry, Kyle.
This is Spartan.
I'm
Spartan
sorry.
smoke to get here. And he gets the rock off. That could be sick, but the tornado to counter-interact. MNT will be able to ensure the Invoker kill as Focus swipes the last hit with the big scythe. Curry has ultimate and a hood available. May look to defend this tower, but Madara, does he have the Radiance? It does appear like he might. It's on the Courier en route as they now just chase towards Curry and the Crystal Maiden. Seni should go down here. They do have vision. Centaur ultimately will get popped, but is Madara really the target you want to go for here under the circumstances?
Instead, Kari is in problems, but he gets back as Maf saves him. Seni also a good ulti. Shadow Demon is going to run straight into it. Madara, oh, Supreme
this is not a good
from the
spot
back.
for Madara. Curry now moving forwards. What a great ultimate from the CM once again. He will finally fall. Madara trying to man up, has the Radiance active now, and look at the AoE damage. The Heartstopper with the Radiance just putting in so much work. In fact, that's going to be a dead Centaur on the side once that Q lands. No, in fact, he survives. I forgot about the hood reduction. Supreme will finish off the Golem, now looking to get aggro here.
Invoker is back up, but can they stop this? One stun. Oh, no, stun was on cooldown, and Zeni, he's trying to get that Alchemist, but is unable to do so. And meanwhile, Bounty Runes.
Yep.
Just taken by Ad Finem. Overall, you know what? Like, Hippomaniacs, they had a fantastic laning advantage, but because of that, they were a little bit too cocky with their rotations. They weren't rotating like everyone else does right now. Bringing 2 heroes is just not going to cut it. You need at least like 3-4 man rotations even after you have a good laning stage. If you don't do that, you give them the opportunity to get a kill or 2. If they get a kill or 2, it's anybody's game. And now like Ad Finem is completely back in it.
Well,
Because remember, it's an alchemist, it's a warlock.
It's ease of execution. We can criticize their draft all we want, but when they get ahead, you just kind of walk down lanes, and you're going to deal so much damage by just standing in the vicinity. You could even have seen that reflected in the odds, with Ad Finem now heavily favored because, like we've seen, a great start for Invoker, sure, but his net worth just isn't expanding as fast as this Alchemist is. Now Thug finding the Yules, might be able to kill off the Treant, and indeed he does. This is not a hero against Leshrac. And Thug suddenly taking over position 4 almost, or 3 rather, as he's out GPMing maybe next time. Madara, though, caught on the side. Will tank a stun, but nothing going there. Teleport's coming in. SSA Spartan, not one to leave a man behind enemy lines alone.
Yeah, he has that tier 1 still there ready and available for him, so if they want to go on the Alchemist, it's so easy to save him. Even Spartan rotating in is enough. Overall, though, that BKB, Madara is getting really close to it. He just needs the recipe, and after he has it, this game becomes so difficult for Hippomaniacs. I believe that BKB is go time for them. They didn't have to wait for AC or anything such as that. BKB and just go. You're ready. You can fight. On the other hand, Aghanim still not completed on Gyro. He's, what, 4 or 5k behind the Alchemist. I mean, Alchemist usually does farm much faster, but considering what their start was like, I expected much more from the Czech boys.
I gotta agree with you there. I don't even know who to point fingers at. It's really just the lack of moves, right? I haven't seen a single move from Hippomaniacs' 5 till this one, and it's gonna be counteracted as Ad Finem just move in. Spartan drops the Golem on top of the Fatal Bonds. The EMP is gonna try to peel. Senny gets the ultimate off. Spartan will go down. However, they are in no man's land as Madara now moves forward. Stuns Curry. Has the Radiance, a route to try and peel. The ultimate will not quite finish off the Centaur, and now the Necrophobe is actually going to go down, taking so much magic damage because he popped that Ghost Shroud. Ad Finem, though, continuing to pursue with that Radiance. Thug finds Muff, maybe next time as well, trying to assist in the kill. Will they be able to take the Gyro is the question. No. The Spirit Vessel, boom, doing so much damage. Madara, he's completely out of he's just dead. Where's his team? What's going on?
They're playing with the Treant. Why are you hitting that tree? Like, he's just joking you. He's just baiting you while your Alchemist is all alone lonesome trying to get the important targets.
It didn't work for Saruman. It doesn't work for Ad Finem. You got to leave those trees alone. And a big death on Madara. And keep in mind that net worth disparity. When you die with all this gold as the Alchemist, you provide such a rich bounty to the enemy team. Well played by Boom to turn it around. Has the Midas now to
Look at
ensure
that
he
Gyro.
continues to scale.
He was on 7k net worth before that fight. Now he's on 8.7. That's a pretty good turnaround for them. I'm happy they did it because it makes this game a little bit more interesting. It was going to spiral out of control. Now Muff, though, he might be just dead here. Let's see. Yeah,
looks dead.
He looks very dead.
And this is where you look at the supports, notably, right? A Leshrac and a Warlock, so effective. They do so much damage, especially with the team composition built around them. CM Treant, these are, we've had some Dream CM ultimates, but that's not something you can count on forever, and their damage output is just non-existent. You're almost all in on Supreme, and he just isn't quite at that net worth yet. We'll see how it happens, though. As to say Spartan, I've seen that before.
He deals a lot of damage, and he's very effective once he gets that ultimate. That ultimate is 70 seconds away, so he might just as well try and go play some deep wards. If he dies, he dies. Unfortunately for him, that's what happened. But not a big loss for them, because I don't think they were thinking about taking an engagement without that ulti ready. Alright, the BKB is up on Madara, so this could be the time. Once that Warlock is up, you need to wait like half of a minute more, and you can go in and take some fights. At the same time, I have to mention that Invoker did go for the Midas after the Vessel. So you see this, like Vessel, Midas into Aghanims. He still will be able to scale because of this build. Let's see, the Rune fight is coming up.
He's got a BKB though, Madara. He's not the target you want to go for. You can see Hippomaniacs recognize it, trying to burn his mana. In fact, they are successful. But now, Centaur Ultimate will counteract the Fatal Bonds that hit on 3. Thug moving forwards, but will not be able to find any targets. Supreme still top, has the Ags finished, and will collect both Bounty Runes. Madara will claim both on the bottom side of the map. Split, some ults traded, no big deal.
He did have that dust on Lash. Maybe dust into Yules on Invoker could have worked, but he didn't want to risk it. And after all, running into that shrine instead of just picking up 2 bounty runes is definitely not worth it for you when you're having an Alchemist game.
Oh, Madara, speak of the devil, he's here. He still has that BKB, saving it, holding it. Maybe next time with the disruption, another 4-man disruption. Thug now pops the aggressive Yules. There's no BKB on Boom. He's in a lot of trouble. The Gyro is here now. So much damage coming out thanks to the Ags. They will be able to finish off the Invoker, however, as the 4-man route does land. They need to peel and get out of here.
Yeah, well, both sides retrieve. I still think Ad Finem got the better of that raid, right? You kill off the Invoker, that's pretty alright for you. I didn't notice if Alchemist had to use his BKB or not. I think
he did not. He saved
did not. Yeah, so that's another small victory for them.
Oh, as we say it, initiation onto the Necrophos. Tons of damage coming out, but there was no team around just yet. And now another huge Fatal Bond. Says to say Spartan. Supreme in so much trouble, it's going to get purged. A big ultimate from Senny, but there's the BKB from Madara. He's been saving it this whole time, and there's no route. There's nothing you can do to save your Gyrocopter. Aggressive disruption. They're going to kill CM for free as well. Muff has Invis in just a second. Will he be able to pop it? Indeed he is.
But
they lose two.
They lose two, and it's mind-boggling that they're trying to go for a Necrophos while your vessel carrier is dead. And Curry, he's also the tankiest one on the side of Hippomaniacs, so he can play around a little bit. But man, you don't go for this guy. He has Yules and he has a hood. Like, don't go for that Necro when your Invoker is dead. If your Invoker is alive and Necro is out of position, then perhaps you can kill him before the disruption is there. But in all honesty, I think this is the hardest kill for them to make.
And they're going to lose a tier 2 now. Really well done by Ad Finem. I love the decision from Madara to get that BKB early. However, I don't love this from the Necrophos, who's in middle of no man's land. Will defensively Yules, but I do not believe it's going to be enough to save him. Oh, or is it actually? Madara moving forward. He's going to go straight for Boom on the Invoker. They're just going to kill him off. He's dead. Senny now next to fall. They've already lost 2. And the Necrophos is still alive. Supreme, though, tons of damage coming out from the backside. Trying to roll forwards with that Aghanims. Curry, very, very low focus still in this fight. They are going to be able to finish off the Centaur. And now Madara with that BKB active once again. Oh, that's a huge stun onto the Gyrocopter. He's almost certainly going to go down. And indeed he does. They just don't have BKBs, Lizard. And
that's
now
a buyback on Invoker. And he might fall again.
Do they have dust?
Is there dust? No. At least he survives, but he... Oh, that's some BM right there, but... yeah, I mean, I understand him. I mean, this is a GG right there. After these two fights...
That's game.
You bought back your Invoker. You're not getting that BKB anytime soon on the Invoker or the Gyrocopter. You just ruined it. Just going for that Necro twice in a row. You shouldn't go for the Necro in these kind of games. If you don't get him, if you don't blow him up instantly, he's alive for sure. You have the Shadow Demon behind. And this game is just looking very rough for them.
It's the timing. Like, you don't have BKB on Gyro. Exactly. If you don't have a BKB, he can't fight. It's not going to work. They get the tier 3, as we've discussed in previous casts. That's been now recognized as more important than the racks, really. If you can kill the Shrine after tier 3, it's just so much gold. It opens up the Roche Pit. Then you regroup with the extra 5k gold in your pockets. You head towards that mid lane.
Usually when you're taking that tier 3, what happens is by the time you get to it, you most likely have taken a fight. You have low mana, right? You have low HP perhaps on a hero or two. You have used some cooldowns. And after... Oh, I mean, those odds. I'm surprised they're not higher, honestly. And when you don't have cooldowns, when you don't have mana, it's just safer to go back. Take the Shrines. The Raxes can come later after the rush.
I mean, everything is throwable after all, but this one would take a deft hand at Finem in dominating position. And it's one of those drafts that it sort of plays itself. Everybody just sort of walk forwards, cast stuns, follow the Alchemist, who is going to tank damage. Face first, has the BKB, Manta completed as well, so no fear from the root even after the BKB is popped.
Supreme does have that BKB. That's, I mean, that's good. Is it great? It definitely isn't.
I love this. He is no fear because he knows that there's a Shadow Demon behind him. You said it best. When you've got that disable, it's just so much easier to play. Madara channeling the stun. We'll just go for Curry, who is so out of position, it's absurd. He's going to just go down immediately. Madara has the BKB active. He can continue to chase forwards.
Let's say there's a little bit of a disconnect between this Centaur and the rest of his team. And what his job is to do as an offlaner.
The Curry ISO works very well for the Golden State Warriors, but Hippomaniacs are going to need a little bit of work before they can make plays with that.
This Curry also works really well for them when he was their carry, when he was playing heroes that are supposed to join these fights the latest, you know, like the last man joining. But right now, I don't know. It's not going too well for them. But he did have some good plays as a Centaur in this match. Like, I'm not saying he didn't. Then again, As a team,
What are you saying?
As a team, they're struggling right now. They lost their offlaner, and as a team, it's not looking as well as it did before the TI quals.
Just a bit disconnected, I think. And you can feel it. Sunstrike will scout out the Roshan. Ad Finem don't care. They've got all their spells available. Pipe active. If you want to invade this pit, I think Ad Finem will be more than happy to go fight. In fact, they are. The Purge goes off onto Boom. They're just going to blow everything on him. They know he has no buyback.
Yeah. No buyback, also out of position, so easy to catch him. Oh yeah, go on the Necro.
Yeah.
I mean, he's holding his ground very well as a gyro. It's a good position, but they just don't have the damage.
Oh, hang on. They're going to initiate onto Thug. He's in some trouble. The ultimate pops. CM dead. Down for the count. MUF soon to follow. Center ultimate will pop. Buybacks on both supports. They're going to double TP in. Thug on the run will go down to the Nova. Supreme's BKB is fading over, and he's got to be careful. Madara all the way out of the fight does grab that DD. Nice Yules up from the Necrophos to dodge the rockets. CM ultimate now going to be channeled as Madara moves forward. Ult's back off cooldown. He's just going to go damn. Going straight for the gyrocopter. Look at the fatal bonds. He's killing everyone.
That double damage as well. That should be game right here, I believe, with the Crystal Maiden buying back, dying. That's a team wipe.
Oh my god, he killed Curry as well. Well, Thug killed Curry, but the fatal bonds were still helping. And if I'm Ad Finem, I just go for Throne here, right?
I mean, there's Invoker up in 15 seconds, but I think if you are Hippomaniacs, you're just thinking about what you can do in the future games.
Type a couple magical letters.
Yeah.
This one's in the books. I'm shocked they're not conceding under the circumstances, as Ad Finem now wreak havoc inside of the base.
GG.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah. Was to be expected. I mean, you can't really play against this team any longer. You had a brilliant start. I'm just...
it's a hard draft. It's a hard draft to execute and an easy one to mess up against.
I mean, it is easy to mess up against Warlock and Alchemist. Definitely, I have to admit. Necro as well, he baited them twice. Necro baited them so well on that tier 1 on the mid lane. But to be honest, like sometimes you get baited, but you have the firepower to take that target down. If it's not a bait, right? Even if it's a bait, maybe you'll kill him. But they had no business going for that Necro when he was in the river. Like without Invoker. Invoker was that, you have no vessel. He has Yule's Hood, you're not killing him. And they had a tower there, like you're not killing him for sure. And then they do the same mistake twice in a row. They get wiped, Invoker buybacks, dies afterwards. You have no BKB on Gyro. You're forcing him to fight without a BKB, you can't win it. But overall, if you win the laning stage so successfully, in this current patch, you have to bring in more players to different rotations.
Make moves. You've got to get towers. You've got to actually get things done.
You got to get things done, but you can't rely on the fact that you dominated the laning stage. Because the enemy team is going to bring everyone. You're going to have 2 heroes, they're going to have 5. You're going to lose those heroes, and every single player on the enemy team is going to make a comeback.
It's true. Said it best, Lizard. There really isn't much more to add, except if you'd like to bet on the action next game. You can protect it fast and easy with no queues, no business hour, no rejection. Just make a bet on GG.Bet.com and ensure it with the save code.
Bet responsibly.
And we'll be right back in a moment because we've got to drink water. Stay hydrated, kids. Be responsible. Anyway, back with Game 2 in a moment. Stay tuned.